All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to another Clearmud live stream. How we doing today? Happy Monday, everybody. Today I want to primarily work on Clearmud Studio, which is something we started building in Grokbot, but given the nature of Grokbot, it wasn't seamless and easy to, we are live, to work and deploy on a local Mac OS desktop app. So I decided to carry over the work into Codex, and that's where we're going to be working out of today. So let's just run a quick test here. Let's call this Buzz versus Grokbot. The differences. All right, I want to record a video comparing Buzz and Grokbot. Notably, one of the biggest key differences is the lack of use of a dedicated remote computer, aka VM in the cloud, amongst others, but that's going to be the one I want to highlight the most. Let's see if this works. The heck is this? That was too quick. That was way too quick. Huh? What? There's no way it's that quick. Impossible. Impossible. Good afternoon, Mr. Baker. Welcome back. How you doing? All right, so I want you to go to this URL, run a test. You're going to see the workflow. I don't understand how everything's instant on the desktop app. Like, is this all... Like, how are you coming up with these answers? I want you to use the computer, go run a YouTube script pipeline, watch the flow, watch what it does, and I can explain in detail if you need it. Let's see, I was also talking about possibly making it so having Clearmud Studio be the desktop app, Clearmud OS in the web. So we're essentially going to create a desktop app for the web version, but also having it all intertwined with my OpenClaw system. Still living the dream. Nice, nice. That's good to hear. That's good to hear, man. Yo, what's up, Koi? How we doing today? Let's go light mode because that's just too jarring. Yeah, hey, kudos to everybody who decided to sign up for Super Grok Heavy and connected their cursor sub before they terminated that offering. So they don't offer that anymore. I'm really bummed about it. If you get Super Grok Heavy, you don't get a free cursor ultra sub anymore. I think from what I understand, they're honoring anybody who linked it previously, but now it's not a part of the selling points for Super Grok Heavy. I'm like, son of a... Doing great. I'll be home grinding today. Nice, nice. I'm building just a desktop version of YouTube script in Clearmud OS. I'm still on the fence. Like, do I convert this web app into a desktop app and just have it connected to my OpenClaw server? So I don't always have to open up the browser to access it. I might honestly I might just do that instead because Clearmud OS in the web is pretty solid, right? Like, why am I going to rebuild a desktop app? I started this build in Grokbot just to start playing with capabilities, but I soon learned, right, with Grokbot, A, the remote computer is Linux based. B, for it to deploy a Mac OS app on your local machine, it's not as seamless as just working out of Codex, which I already have, you know, approval only access, but it can easily spin up these desktop apps for me. I don't have to like jump through additional 1, 2, 3 hoops to pull it off. So, yo, what's up, Johnny? Nice, nice. Time for coding. What are you coding today? What are you building? And then I think also, let's continue working on Out of Bird, because this here, even though I can continue this out of Codex, yeah, it's still under the test directory. All right, so I want to continue working on this, but I think I'm going to co-locate it into another app I'm working on. So let's create a private GitHub repo, call it Clearmud Canvas, if we haven't already. And yeah, I'll take it from there. Yeah. Yeah, and there's no clear differences on Grokbot yet as far as Grokbot usage between the two subs. I'd imagine you get more out of your sub or more Grokbot usage through Super Grok Heavy, but there's no confirmation between that and Cursor Ultra. From what I understand, it's the same across the board. But listen, this thing blew up so damn quickly that we'll get some clarity with time, you know? What is Bird? Bird, B-E-R-D, is another brainchild of Jack Dorsey. I was testing it on a live stream last week, and honestly, I didn't dig too much into it, but I did start building something within it as a test. And all it really did was, I linked it to my... Let me remove that pinned comment so you can see. I linked my Codex account. So this project is actually accessible through the Codex app. So like using Codex as a harness, of course. It's cool. Makes that fun. Like it brings a different, how do I say? It's a different experience, right? They don't have a dark mode, which I personally love. At least I don't think they do. It allows you to create agents just like Buzz. This is actually super efficient to run compared to Buzz. I'm not sure if they've improved Buzz, but nevertheless, I was testing it and I thought it was cool. But I built, this was a mistake. I didn't mean to build what I built, but why did you make that Clearmud canvas all low caps? Like, why would you do that? I find that annoying. If the goal is not to need to open the browser to access your app, why not add a MCP functionality? Yeah. So it's not that the goal is to not open the browser. It's the goal is to use whichever one I prefer depending on my mood, right? I don't mind the browser, but I've been using it constantly for the past 8 months, pretty much since I built it out, that now I find myself wanting to work out of specific desktop apps because it doesn't allow me to easily tab open a browser and get sidetracked. Open up YouTube, browse YouTube. You see my point? So that's all it is. That's all this kind of exploration is right now. But that's a good idea. I love it, Fourth. But going back to it with Bird, check it out. I mean, it's just a fun new app. I don't think I'm going to keep using it moving forward. Although we could turn this into a movie Monday. What's that account? Let's open up the browser real quick. Go to YouTube. Oh, Chris. He doesn't release videos too often. Okay, he also just dropped a video for Bird.
Now, if you look around this app, there's a lot of things. You recognize some of things that may be confusing to you. See a clock, see a to-do list, see hyperframes here. But what are these things, right? We got a rock guy, some jello, a cat. These are all actually agents, and they're all Claude agents, but they all have different personalities and play different roles. If I give kind of a silly idea to push back this agent, he'll naturally push back on my idea and try to take a more realistic approach. If I give it to Wildcard here, he'll take the crazy idea and try to make it even crazier. If I try to give it to Cat Artist here, it'll just try to make a visualization that is cat themed. That's it. So these are all freely movable on this space. And I can also keep projects and skills. And this is a simple app. It's a local open source agent workspace for solo builders who want to work with agents across several agent harnesses and have kind of fun while doing it. So this is a recent release from Block. It's called Bird, B-E-R-D. So yesterday, Block released this Bird, another open source project.
Well, I want to continue working on a few things. I wasn't turning this into Movie Monday, but yo, what's up, Caval? Doing well. How are have you not heard of Bird? So I guess I should just, I don't think Codex got the message here. Turn 1 is an opus. Exactly. So that was my thing. It's another AI app. I feel like it was released too soon after Buzz, right? Like, to me, it's just Buzz in a different format with obviously some of the features are different, right? You don't have the Slack-like chat rooms. To me, it feels like it's Buzz mixed with Codex more than anything. Is it down again? Oh man. Hope they are dropping that. Are they really? Is that the rumor? Interesting. Very interesting. If they're dropping Fable 5.1, that means Grok 4.7 is right around the corner. And who knows? Is a GPT 5.7 around the corner as well? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, you're supposed to select. I'm shocked Codex doesn't understand that you need to reply to continue here. Let's see. See what happens. Shall we give him some patience? Yeah, this is too how do I say, too bubbly, I feel like. No options to delete anything. All the main players have releases in their final stages. Yeah. So it's going to be a busy 5 days. I feel like Tuesday is a day for them to drop that more than a Monday. Can't say I've ever seen, at least this year, Claude drop a model on a Monday. But thank you, Lou. Where are we quoting this from? I'm very curious. So we got canvas. I'm probably going to lace that into... I'll show you, Mr. Baker. I accidentally vibe coded this this new presentation tool for the channel. And I got to say, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh yeah, by the way, for anybody curious, only one video this past weekend because Grokbot changing all of its pricing the way that it did. I had just finished editing, just comparing straight up Ultra to Super Grok Heavy. But then they came out with all of those other kind of doors into Grokbot. And I just felt like the video was pointless at that point. The one I recorded, at least. So I scrambled to record a new one late Sunday, but something came up and yeah, we were only down to one video this past week, which I was kind of bummed about. But it is what it is. We have to roll with the punches here. I didn't want to release something that was just going to be completely pointless, you know? DeepSeek Flash has been a lifesaver. Nice, nice. I'm sure they will, right? And if they don't drop it the same week, it'll come a week after, you know? No, do not go to the script pipeline. All right, so I built this Mr. Baker that essentially I can create a new canvas here and I can slide in a Codex session and it creates a canvas per my kind of styling and preferred approach. Created these little pen tools for me to like highlight text as I'm recording a video. And then of course I can clear it, hit pen, orange, do stuff like that. But I originally built this because I was getting tired of Excalidraw canvas style drawings. So I would have an agent create a version 1 in Excalidraw, and then I'd hand over that Excalidraw file to my Clearmud canvas, and it'll essentially create. Right, this was the video I recorded that I essentially trashed. But this was all based off of a Excalidraw drawing. And then I created this intro feature to help me with animations that automatically zooms in and navigates throughout the canvas. Oh, this one's way too slow. Go to this one. This was a video we dropped, I believe, Saturday, right? Yeah. Right, so it just automatically kind of like automates and helps take away some of the post-production for me, because now, you know, I can hide my video, go full screen, and do this kind of intro animation for me to kind of like help guide the beginning of the video. But yeah, it's super cool, super in my style. Really love the approach. Now, it doesn't have like the manual create your own text blocks. Instead, I just chat with an agent. I capture an area and I say, hey, you know, I want to change this, this, and this. And this just spins up a Codex CLI session using my Codex subscription, no API, which is awesome. So it's not something I would release because it needs to be local for that to work through the subscription. But yeah, pretty neat. Loved it. So I'm going to start using this. I'm going to fine tune this. The question is, do I keep it in the browser or do I make a desktop app out of it? Kind of thinking I might just do a canvas.clearmud.ai, but I don't know if I would release it, right? This would just be for internal use, at least for now. But yeah, Had fun with this. I built this on accident, by the way, right? And the reason I brought this up is I built it in Bird by accident. And I ended up keeping it. I love it. Yeah, sheesh. I mean, how accurate is that report? Hey, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm loving it. Glad you like it too. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete this. I created this separate pipeline at some point with the intention of, you know, it operates very similar, but it was going to generate thumbnails for me, you know, automatically. But I still like being hands-on with this process, so I never really pursued that newer version of the pipeline after that initial inception of this kind of like new approach here. But I am in the process of kind of revamping the way we do YouTube videos. So this whole older version of the script output is going to be replaced very soon. Dude, of course. Of course. This is why we build in public, right? We all feed off of each other's ideas here, so show me what you build. I'd be very curious. I'd be very curious to see it. Now, I'm not sure, like, where is it? So you're saying make a desktop app of Clearmud OS instead of rebuilding the pipeline? I feel like at this point I should just work with my OpenClaw agents to pull this off rather than you. So the YouTube script job, that actually is a little REST API wrapper that spins up Claude in the CLI. And then it follows a certain set of instructions based off of the / command within that Claude session. I'd like to get away from using Claude altogether and either use Codex or Grok. Nice, nice. Looking forward to it. Cool, cool. Okay, what do you need from me to pull this off? Is there a handoff file I can create showing in detail how that YouTube script pipeline works? Hey, Muddy, I'm currently working on a desktop version of YouTube script / content calendar that's going to link to our server. I'm working with Codex locally, and this session's requesting some information. Can you help me prep this handoff doc? Dang. Yo. Yeah, going back to alpha, I need to play with that. What's up, Dark Eyes? No, I have not, personally. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, listen, just like, it's tried and true at this point. I can rely on the system, and that's what I love, right? Don't get me wrong, I love testing all these new things, Grokbot, etc., Buzz, but something that just never changes in my workflow is OpenClaw. It's reliable for me. But I also spent a ton of time on it, right? The one thing I want to get away from is these kind of older workflows, right? So I want to start improving the way we output scripts. But now I'm on the fence of, what I don't want to create is another app that does the same job that's siloed, right? So either I change the pipeline here on Clearmud OS and then create a desktop version of Clearmud OS, because there's a lot of tabs I just don't use anymore. I go into a specific set of tabs: dashboard, content calendar, benchmark, YouTube script. I don't use video to social anymore, even though I spent a lot of time on it. Live stream is still being utilized. Signal Studio, not as much, right? So there's like a lot of these that have become stale that I don't use all the time anymore. So I want to get back to the point of having only what I need to use. Yeah, I need to think about that some more. And that's what my weekends are normally for, but this past weekend, there was not a normal infra Saturday like we normally have, so. So in the meantime, let's do a little movie Monday.
That incorporates agents into a workspace. Similar to Buzz, how Buzz is for teams or communities, multiple people working with multiple agents. Bird is more of a solo workspace where you can work with all different agents from different agent harnesses on your own projects. And they seem to be emphasizing this kind of funky style to it. So I want to do a quick video. I wanted to try this out. So we're going to install this and then take a look, try to set up some agents. And if you're looking to level up your own, if you sign up flat, you got this. Let's push back. Let's do structure. So we know it's
already
really
know this.
Dough torque during kneading and adjust water, knead time, and proof duration. So that's pushback. So let's check out another one. So you can also create projects here.
Yo, what's going on, Danny? Welcome back. Today we're doing a little bit of work out of the Codex desktop app, and we're also working out of OpenClaw. But while they're working right now, I am just doing a little movie Monday, watching this video about Bird.
Let's call it bread maker. So it changes the color kind of based on it. And what should the agent know about this project? You can choose your local folder that you want to work in. Create the project. So then you have a new chat inside of the project. Everything about this app is pretty smooth.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of rethinking my various workflows and trying to figure out how to bring them all together in one single place. I'm officially done having 10 apps. Yeah, that's essentially what we're seeing too. We're seeing, like, listen, Grokbot is great, but it's going to be replicated. It's going to be cloned by a lot of these frontier labs, right? So, and then there's going to be another fucking wave of creators posting about how this new one is changing. Like, the thing I love about OpenClaw, the amount of time I spent on it early on made it so reliable for me. I was also kind of like, I held a soft spot to not wanting to just trash it when every new thing came to be. But the more I test all of these new solutions, the more I realize they're all at the foundation conceptually the same, right? It's just a new front end with slightly improved workflows, with slightly improved user experience and also agent experience, right? For that matter. One thing I will admit though, with Buzz and Grokbot, like the true unlocks for those two were the ease of use with creation, with deployment and creation. You do not need to go jump through hoops. Of course, if you use a one-click solution through OpenClaw or Hermes, that's another story. But for the most part, OpenClaw Hermes requires setup, right? And that is intimidating for a lot of people, right? Buzz made making agents so incredibly easier. Grokbot leveled it up one step further. But conceptually, they're all the same. They're all the same. And if you host your own OpenClaw or Hermes server, well, they all have their own virtual computer that they could use, right? You can configure that. So it's just not as user-friendly and simplified. That's all, right? But conceptually, they're all the same. They all have the same foundation in a sense. Yeah. So it's easy, like, Mr. Baker, respect for not, I know you're not the shiny toy type where you're not going to chase every new thing. It's kind of my job to test things and be aware of them. But the more I test, the more I realize they're all the same conceptually.
So, let me see. Let's talk to another
and
agent.
I'm also trying to narrow down what I use, right? For me. I'm going to continue testing things. But
so let's try Wildcard.
But I'm never going to be the channel that tells you to go kill OpenClaw, kill Hermes, kill Buzz, kill Grokbot, to go try this new thing, right? Sure, I'll make videos on the new thing, but I'm not going to just trash what's tried and true. You know? So.
Accepting of my AI bread maker idea. It's the same thing. I'm thinking make an AI bread maker. What do you think? So he's responding. He's more accepting of my idea, but he is a wild card, so he's trying to kind of expand from the idea. The version everyone lands on first is bread maker, but the app watches it bake and adjusts the temperature. That's a sensor upgrade. Wearing an them. She could have touched. And let's do the cat. So I'm calling my that's creating agents like this, and it's certainly that you just saw. There's these groupies.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I see the Codex app incorporating an agents feature, right? Like, it's just a matter of time.
Certainly a fun concept. So that's Cat Artist. You can see how we can make those kind of agents. And it's a banana.
Conceptually the same.
Have it
very cool, right? Very cool, very unique. Brings this unique canvas that you can then structure your agents visually. But that's, yeah.
But in addition to that, I did a lot. So links to these. So these are mainly MCP server, it seems.
Conceptually the same.
These kind of third-party working here, because I'm sure if you're working with Claude or Codex or Grok, I usually use Herder like this.
Yep.
Which is very simple and it works very well. So my question is usually just day to day, I'm using either the Hermes Agent desktop app if I'm in Hermes Agent, or if I'm working with Claude or Codex or Grok, I usually use Herder like this, which is very simple and it works very well. So my question is usually, does this cost more tokens, right? To use Claude code in here versus just using it in Claude code. So that's what we're going to test right now. So I think the fairest way is to do this with a new agent. Create new and do the cheese. So this is going to be Claude code. So I'm not going to give it any agent instructions because I'm sure if it has a very long solmd or system prompt, it's going to use more tokens. So what we're going to do is we're going to do two types of bird agents. One is just going to be this plain one. Now it does require instructions though. You are a tester. How about that? Very bare bones one. So I'm going to give the same prompt to this very
Yep.
agent in bird.
I know. I've been playing with it and
agents in bird, and then Claude code.
I do love it.
Okay, so
there's still a place for CMUX for me, but
please research. This is the GitHub for bird, and tell me the 3 most interesting features. So I'm going to give that to tester. As it responds, we will give this also to and just do birdie. Give it the same prompt,
that's a funny name.
and then I'm also going to give this to Claude code. So the Claude code one's working, but you can see we got back the responses from bird there fairly quickly. Some interesting notes here that I didn't realize. Agent cards you can hand to someone. So the agents aren't just a config you keep, you can export them as a collectible style card. So that's kind of an interesting aspect. Per folder work tree choice on project chats. So you can actually use work trees per folder. And then assistive UX. There's a whole system for how bird is allowed to notice your habits and offer a change of setting. 3 tiers teach that a control exists, ask before changing, or change with strong evidence. So that's interesting. So those are features that I don't know if they're fully implemented, but it's good to know. Claude code came back in Herder here. We also talked about the assistive UX. Okay, so we did actually a couple different tests to see the difference, and Claude was nice enough to make me this little infographic here. So you can see the difference. Tester is the minimal bird agent. Birdie is the built-in one, and Claude code is obviously Claude code. So the big baseline, you can see it's a lot more calls in Claude code. It's around 28% more versus tester. Birdie's only 12% more than tester with the built-in like instructions and stuff. So you can see here the big difference. The minimal bird agent had 32,000. Claude code had almost 10,000 more. And actually a big difference. Tester was, you saw the minimal. I only wrote like a couple lines, or a couple words rather. So that was all the extras. It is the MCP connectors, agent, workspace.
Yeah, another fun new tool to test and play with, and then realize it's just like everything else for the most part. Link it, please. It normally does. I'm actually, waiting for turn to clear. Got it. So it should be linking it still. Yeah, I've been hearing, I haven't had the pleasure of testing Orca, but of course, killer whales are just going to pop up. Orca app. But I've heard enough about it. Question is, for me, it's like what you were just talking about. Testing yet another app, right? Damn it, Mr. Baker. You're gonna make me install Orca, aren't you? Today, DeepSeek released Flash with Vision Mode in their API, not yet open source. Watched Bijan's video on that. It is massive in terms of website and visual development, and price is dirt cheap. Yeah, CMux has been my go-to for the most part. This feels like another another Codex. It just looks like Codex to me. A mix of Codex and Cursor. And CMux. And all of the above. You know what I mean? Like, damn it. Guess we're going to test it. Let's go ahead and download it. My goodness gracious. Yep, there it is. I don't feel like we're just going to send it raw. Bam. And off MD. Yeah, I've heard. I think you might have been the first one to say something. I was aware of it and I've been seeing it on X. I just hadn't had the time to install it. Can you rank all harness based on quality? Talking about it in a long form video format? Quality of what? What would we be comparing quality of? Yeah, so since I'm not a full-time dev, I'm not sure I would adopt it. But I will play with it. Now, here's where something... Automator Birdie... You're a generalist, copycat, choosy, chat. I want you to compare Herder and Orca. Convince me one or the other or none. Continue testing Bird here. So you want SSH access into my OpenClaw server, eh? Oh, that's right. That's right. So let's go and I was testing something there, so I got away from my remote gateway. Sign in. Mr. Baker, please compare herder versus Orca. We can close that. We'll bring that over there since we're working out of here. Yeah, it's in the Discord. It's in the Discord. As you can see, he posted a Soul MD. And that's the only one I pasted in here. I didn't paste the full doc in there. All right, while that's happening, I do need to do something really quickly. Give me one moment. All right, so we are back. Let's go check it out, shall we? I'm actually kind of shocked it doesn't open up its browser within Hermes desktop. Yep, those links are correct. Yeah, already herder is my choice here. Let's actually make this smaller just so that these are side by side. So it's just straight up, Baker is straight up listing the differences with no sense of humor or no personality yet. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I see the power in this here. I like that. I like the simplicity. Okay. Have you tested Cursor's new replacement to Git? I forget what it's called. Better agents beat more agents. Better until they aren't. Origin. Ryan knows. Yo, welcome back, Sharma. Today, we're just having an easy Monday. We're working a little bit on a desktop app, but now I'm kind of on the fence of even creating it separate from Clearmud OS, or just creating a version of Clearmud OS that's desktop. That links to the OpenClaw server. I'm kind of on the fence now. So I'm not going to waste too much more time on this at the moment, because I just need to make a decision. Yeah. And then we're playing with Bird a little bit. Now mix CMux. Throw CMux into the mix. Ah, okay. Yeah, so going back to this one, he actually had a lot more documentation on, I just pulled the Soul MD. But he had a very detailed brief about Mr. Baker. If he is, I hope you're getting a commission. Okay, going back to it, Cabal, forgive me. Quality of output with the same model on different harnesses. Okay. Now, I know Bijan primarily handles a specific set of prompts in the default harness. I don't know how quickly I'd rush to record a video like this, but I love the idea. I'm going to add it to my board and, I'm going to add it to my board and keep this top of mind. Thanks for the suggestion. Everyone's token maxing. I'm trying to time max. Right now, primarily Codex, and then Codex will either build it on top of Tauri plus Rust, or I have another one I'm working on, which is an Electron Mac OS app. So far, I can't tell the differences, right? Because I'm not a software engineer by trade. So to me, they both look the same. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help explain the different. You know what? Let's use Mr. Baker. All right. Now, give me a comparison between the two approaches to building a Mac OS desktop app. I know commonly is a Rust plus Tauri pairing, and then there's also Electron. Give me pros and cons, when to use one versus the other, which one's better, etc., etc. He said that to you too? He sent it to me as well. And I just brain dumped Whisperflow. I just responded with just blocks of text. All right, so let's go back and seeing CMux into the mix. Oh, wow. You had a lot to say on CMux. My goodness. That was a big response. Yeah, this is one thing like that has prevented me from using Herder more and more. I did set up Herder on that Linux server behind me, but it's for when I'm prototyping, I'd rather keep it local in CMux because I don't have to worry about trying to connect to that browser or trying to connect to that system to view something locally hosted, right? So for prototyping, I still prefer CMux because it's all local. But I think once things are in production, Herder makes more sense, right? And then Orca, I just haven't played with yet, but. All right, Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker's got the answer. Voice to text, said Tauri. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. That's good to know. So Tauri is usually better for runtime efficiency, small binaries, and least privileged native access, whereas Electron is usually better for development velocity, ecosystem depth, and identical rendering across platforms. Interesting. The awkward third answer is often SwiftUI and AppKit. Not either one. Interesting use. Interesting framing. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Interesting. Okay. Ah, okay. So he uses open code not for everything, right? Primarily for those open weight models, I'm guessing. Okay. Got it. Okay. I feel like I should go Electron for Clearmud OS if I were to make a desktop app out of that. Closed for model he uses with API, and for Claude and Codex, he uses their own apps. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. He prefers using the desktop app rather than spinning up Codex or Claude in the CLI, from what I've noticed on the videos I've watched. Maybe he wasn't always that way, but that is influencer grade simplification. Mr. Baker over here with the knowledge. Very detailed breakdowns. Not too much personality in these breakdowns, though. I'm not sure what changed. And then Ryan votes SwiftUI. What if I want some personality? This is the signature, the textbook Mr. Baker response right there. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. What is the Hermes Agent desktop app built out of? I could have sworn it was Electron. I could be wrong. Could be completely wrong here. Okay, okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that somewhere. Because it's not only a Mac OS native thing. I feel like if it was Mac OS native only, they would have gone Swift. But since it's something built for Windows and Mac, yeah, built with Electron. Yep. That way you can have that consistent UI across both operating systems, right? Right? They have a Windows version of this, right? Am I hallucinating here? No? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. Okay. Sure. Of course I would. Let's actually go check out our benchmark. Hard to refresh to make sure these are accurate. I need to spend a little bit more time in here. Okay. Everyone always in a hurry. Yep. Yep. Yo, what's up, alls? How we doing today? Doing good. Doing good. Yeah, so I actually do want to, let's talk boot camp, because I'm going to be recording the Buzz boot camp very soon. But as we talked about it, it's not going to be a whole bunch of live streams. It's just going to be a one really long video that I'm going to then fine tune. All right, so let's start working on our next bootcamp curriculum. It's going to be for Buzz. Go check out buzz.xyz for more context. Here's the general flow of this bootcamp that I have here. And correct me if I'm wrong, but before I share these steps, keep in mind, we're not going to be doing live streams for this one. Instead, I'm just going to record it, and then we're going to post either different episodes and we're going to premiere them so that I can hang out and chat, or we're just going to post one masterclass for Buzz. One, like, just Buzz bootcamp start to finish. It might be a couple hours long, I'm not sure. But it's going to be focused around the initial setup, setting up the harness and selecting the harness, creating the agents, reviewing the agents it comes pre-built with, but then how to create your own agents, how to set up teams, how to create channels, how to navigate channels, how to communicate in channels, how threads work, how to work with projects via local Git trees, workflows, aka automations, agent-to-agent communications, collaboration between agents and humans, and then human and agent collaboration, so I guess that's one and the same there, plugins and skills, and then troubleshooting. Man, part of me also wants to make a desktop app for Muddy OS. This is just such a clean interface. Imagine I create a desktop app that allows me to swap the harness, or rather the agent system behind it. Robot Olympics, huh? I didn't know that was a thing. Should we turn that on? Let's go check it out. Robot Olympics. Olympics. Hey, thank you, Koval. Yeah, go show some love. Imagine putting Codex getting stuck at approval in this fast mode. Yeah. If they release that to the public app stores, we'll fill with slop apps even faster than they already do. Oh no. That's what we don't need. The World Humanoid Robot Games, often referred to as the Robot Olympics, annual competition in Beijing. Okay. So we're literally in the middle of it right now. Is there a live stream for that, Koval? Or wait, Sharma? It's not an actual live stream, but
for human beings.
While we're waiting for Monday to finish, I'm curious.
The evolution of the humanoid robots, and also we are seeing that nice to the team Tianzhuo. So now you can see we have like this track and field, and later on we will also have the finals. Maybe we can see a new record. So now we will turn your paying. You can have in the attack.
No way.
And also Xingzai, you can see with win rate, they are actually like standing in different positions. Let's see who will get the score. I think they have a very precise.
He just didn't even try on that one.
So we still have a very like intense competition.
That's insane.
Competition at this moment. I think they have moved in a very good positions. I think the backhand is much stronger than what we expected. When the Ronaldo celebration. I think this is very familiar for all the football fans, and also he celebrates with his teammates. And just now we can see that we have a very good angle for this free kick. So you can see this is a very nice powerful strike, and also if we look at the movement, it is very good, and we will give more like barriers for height is like 1
Oh, here it is.
meters, and the weight is about like 80 kilograms. So for these like contestant athletes, like they now have a very physical contact. It feels like two Iron Men, they're fighting with each other. Now you can hear the sound of the metal speakers. They are the battle, and also
Oh,
the
man.
combat for the Ironclad warriors.
Room for improvement here. Oh, dang.
So I think he already learned how to
Whew.
use the tornado kick
It's like something
and
out of a
also
movie
hit
right
it
there.
precisely on the head. Let's cheer up for the robots. We still have like a 30 seconds. If Team Red is not able to stand up to his feet, and then he will lose the game. But still, we have to recognize he already used the tornado kick.
He knocked
So
himself
this is
out
the
with his own
countdown
kick.
for the game. So I think
And now this dude's celebrating after getting kicked in the head.
I'd like to have all contact on the freestyle the feel of the flag of the legend. So for this,
That's scary. Right there. Just armies of robots. We're already seeing it with drones. Drones being like the new weapon of choice.
so right now for the robots collectively change the formation to spell the word Beijing. Beijing is the host city, and also it is a major for national level 75. So for this game, we have a total of 223 referees. So the team has achieved breakthroughs in key technologies such as the dynamic balance control, integrated standing, walking, running control, and autonomous events taken place. And
This
for
is some
this
iRobot
events,
stuff
the,
right here.
Robots, they will also participate in some of the new featured events such as the high jump,
Crazy.
and leaving a very strong
The heck is this?
passion as fully autonomous robots that can get real work done. For the Grokbot G1,
This
so
is
they
some
will attend the
iRobots.
competitions in
Wow.
the scenario-based events. So they will enter and also from around the world. So some of them have competed in RoboCup events and also
Currently
achieved
still
excellent
on remote
results
control,
at
but
numerous
how long until that's not the case?
recognition. You pass out.
That's crazy.
Now you can see for all of these like contingents, they are coming together, and also a magnificent movement has been created that combines the technological depth with the spirit of
I know,
sports.
right?
So we can
Let me
feel
catch
the
up.
passion
Is it really an
and
Olympics when
technological
it's 90?
innovation, sounding an uplifting
Domestic
visual
Olympics.
for this generation.
Not yet international.
With intelligence shaping the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice, nice. Yeah, maybe it's just not live right now. I tried looking for an actual live stream at this moment. Couldn't find it. Yeah, it's fine. These are live streams. I don't really care too much about that on lives. What could go wrong? I mean, what could go right? But what could go wrong? There's a robot hiding an robot riding a robotic horse. Okay, that's robot inception right there. Yeah, I know. And then imagine another 5 years. You know what I mean? Yo, what's up, Pokemon? How we doing today? Can't complain. Busy start to the week. I also realized I was completely distracted all weekend. Not distracted, just had a lot of things I had to focus on. I need to get to your DM. Forgive me for the delay there. Probably powered by DeepSeek. It's so funny to see robotics kick each other's ass. One thing I noticed about. I tried to kick in the head, it would get unconscious. Yeah. I know, right? I mean, the kick, the point of contact in the kick was not ideal, but the fact it was able to do that, like, and then he got him at the end of the kick, so it's not like that kick would have knocked the other robot on its ass. I feel like it needs to work on that a little bit more. But I mean, it's pretty crazy. What's up? How we doing today? Got a robot lawnmower. Nice. Nice. Yeah, it is. Tesla is called Optimus, right? I think they're calling it. Yeah, exactly. They carry on developing like this. It will be Westworld in 5 years. Yeah, yeah, really would be.
And in the next, they will dance together with the referees this dynamic balance together.
I want to see some more competitions. Like, let's see some ice skating or something, you know? Nice, nice. Optimus, Tesla. Is there any videos on Optimus at all? Optimus.bot. They've got to have that domain, right? Oh. Nice. No, they'd probably just launch it under XAI or something. No, nothing. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't want to tease that yet. I am working on another desktop app, but it's not like it's top secret or anything, but it's selfishly for me, and there's some sensitive data on it, so don't really want to show that off quite yet. But it is Electron. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a different approach here. It's ready for review on workboard. Yeah, it's meant for non-technical operators. Let's go see. I'm also noticing a weird bug where you're showing your response 2 times in a row. I've noticed this all day today. What's going on with that? I'm shocked I didn't add it to. I guess I didn't ask. Oh, that's just a slight UI glitch. All right, did you add it to Clearmud OS / bootcamps? Weird. Clearmud West. Clearmud OS. Yeah, SpaceX, that would make more sense. Yeah. Shh, that's wild. Got it. Yeah, that makes more sense. So, Tesla. I feel like it would be Optimus. Page not found. They just don't even have Oh, AI and robotics, Tesla Optimus. No, this is just for hiring. Okay. Oh, wait, no, that's just the careers page. I mean, yeah. We robot page. Tesla. Am I blind? I don't see, maybe under learn? I don't see a We Robot page. Wow. Yeah. Did he make this promise before memory spiked in cost? Ah, okay, okay. Nice. Yeah. That's a good thought. Let's see. Tesla dot, it's UK, right? Or no. What is the is it .eu.uk or .uk.eu? What's the domain there? Or is it just tesla.com /EU? Okay. Oh, they're Europe. So let me try English, UK. Nope, that doesn't even exist. Yeah. I think it will be monthly subscription. Yeah, yeah. It's a very good point. Most likely. Most likely. That makes the most sense. We are just... There it is. I need to improve this look and feel to this whole thing. I don't like this is like, what is this icon with the text below it? It just looks so ugly. Yeah, we're definitely not doing that all in different episodes. I feel like episode 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Okay. I like my written list in front of me more than I like this one. Okay. I'm very curious. Tweaked my back yesterday. Just trying to make sure it doesn't get worse. Oh man, the sun's really starting to shine right now, eh? It's all on my own hardware. I do not use a hosting provider. Well, except for Codex Sub, right? I don't have local models running. But I have my OpenClaw and Hermes hosted locally here. Find the squirrel within. There could be an entire merch series on this. When can we have the setup tour of your workstation? Which one? Yeah. Oh, interesting. Mr. Baker, your agent counterpart thinks it's less vaporware than landing page initially suggests. Let's see. Yeah, you're just giving a really detailed breakdown here. Oh yeah, we're all in the same session, so he's still very Agent Baker is saying that Bird, let me zoom in on this text here. It's the more credible new agent desktops. It's not my favorite part, unsurprisingly. I have the emotional expressiveness of an expired TLS certificate. But I like Tauri. Oh, that's fucking that just has me dead right there. Oh. I remain cautious about maturity, permission depth, the recovery boundary or recovery behavior, feature sprawl, the temptation to confuse animated personas with reliable agents. Dependent on Goose is the real execution substrate. Yeah. Solid. Sound advice. Give it a week of real work and measure successful tasks per day, model cost per completed task. how often you need to repair agent context, whether projects and skills actually reduce repeated setup, whether multiple personas improve outcomes or merely decorate them, how clearly it explains tool use and failures, whether you trust its approval boundaries, idle memory, setup, and update reliability. Okay. Fair enough, Mr. Baker. Fair enough. I like it. Now, I do want to actually maybe continue the movie Monday. I believe there was a, yes, this one.
In my last workflow video,
it's loud.
I showed you guys my setup, which was primarily Claude Code. And after that video, so many of you guys commented that I had to check out Codex. Well, I did, and I've been using it over the last couple of weeks, and you guys were absolutely right. This thing is so good.
I'm gonna hide my video for this movie on Monday.
$200 a month subscription. Talk about why later in this video. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Chris and I build productivity apps. I've been using and recommending Claude Code for over a year now. It's been the backbone of how I build everything, but as of today, I am primarily using Codex. Now, I still am also using Claude Code, so I am paying for a $200 max plan on top of the two $200 Codex subscriptions. But before we hop into it, I just want to say both tools are absolutely incredible. They have their place. I am not telling you to just blindly go switch over to Codex. Use whatever's best for your workflow. I'm just sharing my personal experiences here. Also, a quick disclaimer before I get comments, this video is not sponsored by OpenAI in any way. Here's the plan for the video. We're going to talk about what happened to change my mind and get me to start using Codex. And spoiler, it's not really about coding. And at the end, we're going to talk about who should pay for what, because most of you should not be spending $600 on AI subscriptions. Or maybe you should. I got a lot of thoughts and we'll get into it. Let's start with the thing that surprised me the most. I've never really talked about Codex on this channel, so quick context if you're not familiar. Codex is OpenAI's coding agent and it lives inside the ChatGPT desktop app. Now you can use it inside the terminal just like you do with Claude Code, but I'm personally using it inside their Mac app, which is an incredible experience. So why did I switch? Does Codex just write better code? I've been running both simultaneously for a couple weeks now, and I'm using the absolute highest settings on Codex. So we're using GPT 5.6 Sol on Ultra mode for almost everything. And on Claude Code, I'm using Opus 5 at the Ultra Code settings. And in some cases, I am using Fable 5 on high or sometimes on Ultra Code as well. Probably controversial, but I am getting pretty similar results using these high-end models. There are a couple of nuances, which we'll get into later in the video, but on the whole, I'm kind of getting the same results from both. Okay, so if coding is a tie, then why would I choose Codex? It really boils down to one thing, and that's the user experience. There's a lot of little things that make the Codex experience so good, but there are two things that I want to highlight. Number one is computer use. I genuinely don't know why more people aren't talking about this. I feel like I'm in some sort of secret club that knows about computer use. If you haven't seen it, computer use is a way for Codex to actually control your computer. So it will move around a mouse, it'll type on the keyboard, it can do everything you can do on its own. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, okay, well, doesn't Claude also have computer use? Technically true, and I thought the same thing, but they are not remotely on the same level. I would say Claude Desktop and Claude Code's computer use is like a 5 out of 10. It does get the job done, but I think Codex's is like a 9 out of 10. There are a ton of
I was literally just about to say that. I'm like, come on, Chris.
differences, but the big one is that Codex's computer use is optimized to work in the background. So what this means is you can still use your computer even if Codex is trying to also use it at the same time, and you can have multiple Codex agents running at the same time controlling your computer. You cannot do this with Claude Desktop, because with Claude, when it's using computer use, you basically can't touch the desktop. It has full control over it, and if you touch it, you're going to interrupt it, which makes it kind of useless because you can't really multitask, which is the whole point of having agents running in the background. With Codex, while I'm doing work, so let's say I'm working on a problem, I can have Codex analyzing App Store reviews. So it's literally going through the App Store listings on my computer. And then there's another agent who's using computer use to control the simulator to test something. And another one that's touching Cloudflare and trying to help me optimize some settings. All of this is able to happen in the background at the same time while I'm focusing on something else. You just cannot do this with almost any other coding agent out there. I really feel like I'm not doing computer use justice here. So let me give you a couple more examples and hopefully one of them clicks for you. But here's one use, and this one specifically for developers. So with Claude Code, when I want to test my iOS apps, I've been using something called Xcode Build MCP, which is an absolutely incredible MCP. It basically lets Claude Code control a simulator, but it has this one issue where it's not able to do multi-drag gestures. So it can tap around the simulator, but if I wanted to long press and reorder a list, for example, in Ellie, it can't really test that effectively. But with computer use, since Codex has full control over my mouse and keyboard, it can actually do that multi-drag gesture. So now with computer use, I have a full testing flow as if I was the one testing things, because I can have Codex actually go implement the change, and then it can use Xcode build MCP to build the simulator. And with computer use, I can fully test it with those complex multi-drag gestures supported as well. And with computer use, it can test multiple simulators at the same time, which was huge when I was testing the Apple Watch integration for Amy, because it needed to have access to both the iPhone simulator and the Apple Watch simulator at the same time to test and make sure that they were syncing. This would have been really hard to do if I didn't have computer use. So that's example number one. And another really good use case for computer use is having to do any sort of configuration on dashboards, like if you're going into Vercel or AWS or anything like that. It's so much easier with computer use. Now, yes, a lot of these services do have some sort of CLI or an MCP or a plugin, especially stuff like Vercel and Cloudflare that are pretty cutting edge, but a lot of things still don't, especially if they're not developer focused. For example, I was trying to set up Substack to power my new newsletter, which, by the way, you should go subscribe. And one of the steps was configuring Substack with my custom domain. So I had to go into Substack and go into Cloudflare and modify a bunch of DNS settings just to set all this stuff up. Now, it's not hard, but I was in the middle of doing something. So I thought to myself, why don't I just get Codex to do this with computer use? So I said, hey, go set up my custom domain. You have Substack, you have Cloudflare, just go handle it for me. And it went off, clicked around all the settings. So I can actually see it happening in real time just to verify if I want, but it went, clicked all the settings, configured the DNS, and everything was set up after like 10 minutes. Substack does not have an MCP or CLI to be able to configure something like this. I think Cloudflare might have an MCP for that, but because of computer use, I never have to worry about that. I just know that as long as there's a dashboard and it's clickable, which is in 99% of the cases, that's what's going on, computer use is gonna be able to handle it. And yes, it was just 10 minutes, but I'm doing little stuff like that like 100 times a day, and it does get annoying. So being able to offload it to an assistant while I focus on one or two big tasks for the day, that really does add up. It's almost like having a personal assistant. Now, example number 3 I wanted to share is finding good flight deals. So basically the task is to find a really good flight deal under certain parameters using airline points. And surprisingly, every single agent that I have tested so far has failed at this task. ChatGPT failed at it, Poke failed at it, even Claude failed at it, because what ends up happening is you ask the agent to do this and they do find some sort of deal, probably on a Reddit thread or something, and then when you go to redeem it, it's not a valid deal. So most of the time when it finds these deals, it just doesn't actually work. It's usually working off some sort of outdated info, or there's a weird edge case that I don't qualify for, so I'm not able to redeem it. But every time I've tried this in the past, no one has been successful. So I gave it to Codex and it ran for like 3 to 4 hours and used an ungodly amount of tokens probably to do this. But it did come back and it found me round trip business class tickets from Dallas to Japan direct for about $4,000 worth of points. And if you know airline points, that is an extremely good deal because these tickets usually retail for around $16,000. And most importantly, it did the part that most of the agents skip. It actually went and it verified that I was eligible for these. It went through the checkout flow up to the point of adding my credit card and hitting checkout on Japan Airlines website just to make sure that this was a valid deal. And it's that last 1% confirming that the tickets actually...
Yeah, this is meant for super beginners. Chris makes great videos, don't get me wrong, but let's go search for something else here. Yo, welcome Dan. How we doing today? You know what? I kind of want to finish watching this here, but I know there was a new Riley video. Where is it? Riley Brown. This one here.
In the world of AI agents, OpenAI just...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But welcome, Dan. Welcome. Happy to see a new face. My experience of using both. GPT is better for generalist tasks. We do all the time. Claude is better at expert level pro stuff. Yeah, they each have their use cases. When it comes to computer use, Codex has the upper hand, but I will admit Grokbot via Grok 4.6, that computer use on its remote computer is actually pretty good. It's comparable to Codex for me personally. Very minimal hand holding. I did burn through a lot of tokens these first few days of this next week of the usage limits. And I don't regret it, but it was worth the test. It set up quite a bit for me via remote control. Yeah, It's pretty impressive. Anyway,
released a brand new update where you can fully control your iMessages inside Codex and ChatGPT. And I'll show you exactly how to set this up and how to use AI to control your iMessages. But we have way more to talk about today as well, like the latest Grokbot updates and their rising popularity. We also need to compare the different super app platforms like Grokbot, Cowork, and GPT Work. And we also need to talk about how Anthropic is merging Claude Design and Claude Code. Also how Anthropic just released Cowork on their iOS app, along with a course to learn all of the different tools. And then finally, we need to talk about the brand new Slack code, which was released yesterday, which allows you to add Codex and Claude directly into Slack. This is Agent Native. I'm Riley Brown. I do these updates every week. So for the first agent update this week, we have a brand new feature inside Codex that was just released a few hours ago. If I type @messages, you can see this looks like Apple Messages. Please, can you send Emily a message saying, "Hi, did you get the groceries?" And here it says, I'm using the messages texting workflow to find Emily and send the exact text and verify the result. And look at this. It has this little approval thing. Send this to Emily Lambert. Hi, did you get the groceries? And it has a dash Codex. I can remove that and I can edit the message and I can hit continue. And there you go. It's sent to Emily. Let's see if it's sent. I can pull in my phone and you can see here it's sent. Hi, did you get the groceries? Send another one which says, I'm really hungry. So I'm just showing you how this works. We're going to do a much more practical use case for businesses in just a second. It does require for you to have the ask approval on. It won't just send without asking for approval, but here we go. We can hit continue. And as you can see, it popped up here in the iMessage. Here I was using it inside Codex, which I use for most things when I'm using the ChatGPT desktop app, but we can always switch to ChatGPT mode. And then if we create a new chat, we can select work. And then I could say something, can you please look through my conversation with Anj and Vishal? We have a group message together and I want you to analyze it deeply. Basically all of the things that we've talked about, and I want you to make one suggestion to me in general on how I can improve my communication style and my ability to work with others as a team. Then I want you to suggest one message to them based on that and the next thing that I should say to them. And so you can have AI. If you have a super long group message, maybe it's with your team, is you can have AI fully analyze all of those conversations. It doesn't matter how long they've gone on for. And notice here that I didn't @mention messages, so I can just go @mention messages and make sure that it gets it. And you can see here it found the exact group thread. I mean, look at this. It says the thread is pretty, but this is a really good way of like analyzing how you act in a group. And I find this to be a pretty brutal yet useful practice to do with AI with this new messaging feature that was just added to Codex. And then it gave this little feedback right here. I'm going to say, okay, send it. And then we can fully approve it. And now it's sent. And as you can see here, it's sent on my actual iMessage. And I even sent them a screenshot of this feedback. And they're like, damn, useful. And there's the message from Codex. If you want an agent actually working for you, then this free AI agents cheat sheet from HubSpot breaks down everything you need. It breaks down 7 tools, including Claude Code, ChatGPT, Agent Mode, Zapier, and N8N. For each one, you get what it's best at, how long setup takes, what it costs, when to use it, and when to skip it. And they include copy and paste starter prompts for real workflows, competitor research, organizing files, routing leads, and my favorite is the Manus prompt. You drop in a video link and it watches it and writes your full YouTube description with timestamps. That one alone is worth the download. So if you want a simple starting point, grab HubSpot's free AI agent cheat sheet, and thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. So the next update that I want to discuss is the rise in popularity of Grokbot, which is Cursor's super app. And remember, SpaceX acquired Cursor, so it's actually SpaceX's super app. And many people are saying that they think Bot is another Claude Code moment for AI. I think it's a little too early to say that. Bridgemind said, I've replaced all of my Hermes agents with Grokbot. Grokbot comes out of the box with its own remote computer, which makes the setup way easier, and it also removes the need to purchase any other Mac Minis. Lenny said he got early access to Grokbot and he's hooked. Preston said Grokbot is proof that certain ideas haven't really been tried until they're executed perfectly. And then we also have news from someone at SpaceX who said the following. And I want you to keep in mind, in my opinion, the thing holding Grokbot back straight up is the model. The user interface of Grokbot is the best in the world, in my opinion. I think how easy it is to set up the iOS app is best in the world. I will say Grok 4.6 is just not that great of a model. It's not good at writing. It's not really good at any knowledge work tasks. If you ask it to create a document, it doesn't do that good of a job compared to GPT 5.6 Sol or even the Anthropic Fable models. It's just not quite there in terms of knowledge work. However, now from SpaceX said Grok 4.7 will be better at writing in Bot, which is Grokbot, and in general. I'm very excited for that. For now, my tip is to feed your Grokbot examples of your previous handwritten content. It will learn over time and adjust to your style. Grokbot remembers and will get better with use.
Yo, welcome, Corey. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. How you doing today? I really can't figure out the banked resets. I can never find them. So you can usually find them if you go left menu bar, name, usage. It should be, yeah, right here, usage. Oh, let me hide this pinned comment. Right here. I could have sworn that sometimes though, if you just go here, they used to have like, oh, let me hide my video. I could have sworn it used to like pop out here, but now you have to go here, and then you scroll down and you can use a full reset. So if you max out early in the week, you could essentially just reset it all completely. And it looks like, nice. We're only 4% on the week. We have 6 days left. Yeah, only 1 day in. Awesome.
Which is encouraging. So Grok 4.7
It's also
apparently is coming out
updated
in about
real quick.
2 to 3 weeks, and I heard it's going to be better. I do think this platform, if it had a model as good as 5.6 Sol, I genuinely believe it would be like my favorite tool to use for all agent work. And so I want to take some time real quick and talk about the differences between these different platforms and where I think each one has an edge. And I think, first of all, this is about my usage in terms of how much I use each platform, and that is Grokbot, Codex / ChatGPT, and then Claude, you know, whether it's their iOS app or their desktop app. This ends up being the amount I use each one. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the ease of use is won by Grokbot. There's something incredibly easy to understand about, you have your little bots, you can create a new bot, or I can just immediately go to my sponsorship bot or my content bot, and I can just say, please check the videos and Slack. And this is videos in at Notion and Slack. Please tell me what I need to do next. And there's something really nice about having a little bot for a specific task, right? This to-do list bot, all of this does is it literally just tells me exactly what I need to do. And it just like reminds me every day of all the things that I need to do. And then on top of this, their iOS app was just incredibly easy to set up, and it automatically connects.
Yeah, I'm bummed I can't test this because I don't have an iPhone. Like, that's the one thing with Grokbot. I'd probably be using it more if they had an equivalent on Android, but they don't. Oh, my videos. Okay, my mic wasn't. I thought I was just talking into the abyss with nobody listening.
With the desktop app as well, like you don't need to set up any remote, which I thought was interesting. And then the final thing that they did to make this really easy to understand is that each agent has their own
okay, it does,
routines.
yeah.
For instance, on the iOS app, we can very easily just go to the content agent.
Yeah, too many people abused it. Yep. And then furthermore, big accounts started talking about that workaround. And I think because those big accounts talked about that workaround, other people then started to abuse it. That's the sad part of influencers per se, is they share certain hacks and workarounds, but then it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost. It helps those frontier models or these labs kind of fix that vulnerability, so to speak, but it ruins it for the rest of us who are using it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a bummer.
If we click on the content agent, we can see the routines that this agent has. And if you compare this with the ChatGPT app, it's hard to tell like where you go if you want to do a work task. Do you go to Codex? What's the difference between ChatGPT and Work? I genuinely believe that a lot of people are confused about this, which is why I made an hour-long video, because GPT Work is incredibly powerful. It has a really good in-app browser that I really like that Grokbot does not have. It's just a little bit more confusing than Grokbot, which is a standalone product that is pretty easy to understand. And so when it comes to ease of use, definitely Grokbot gets the point. When it comes to the in-app browser, no one comes close to Codex. I still think it's the most underrated part of using the desktop app, is that it has a built-in browser. And the agent, when you ask it to go to a website or create any document on Notion, it opens it up in this side browser. And so honestly, I think the dream user interface for a super app would be like agents on the left, just like Grokbot right here, except it could open up a browser on the right. I think that would be absolutely amazing. And then when it comes to the models, I personally believe that unless you are a massive company with a huge budget to spend on Fable, I think ChatGPT has the slight edge in the model, because GPT 5.6 Sol is much better than Opus, Claude Opus 5, which I actually don't really think is that good. So if you can afford Claude, then the model is best with Claude. But I would say that on average, it's probably a toss-up. I will say this is the biggest downfall. We're going to give them a big giant red circle here, Grokbot.
I feel like it would be an X.
Grokbot gets a giant red circle because this is a negative 3 points. Their model is nowhere close to ChatGPT and Claude's best models, and that is one of the reasons why I use Grokbot less than ChatGPT Codex. Their model's just not quite as good. And I will say, in terms of Anthropic, the next point that I'll give them is knowledge work and docs. So these are things like spreadsheets. So for spreadsheets, and then also like presentations. And then this also includes like front-end design. Like Anthropic's models are just better, and that gives them a huge edge. I just think they have a clear edge here. In terms of iOS app, it depends on what you want. If you want the simplest iOS app, I would go with Grokbot. It's incredibly easy to set up. It's just like a little team of agents, so I'll give them a half point. But if you wanted the most powerful, I would say the ChatGPT app with the Codex remote, the fact that you can connect to Codex remotely and you can also use real-time voice. I think that's what gives them the dub here, is the fact that this app has real-time voice and it's really good. And I'm not talking about the normal real-time voice here on the ChatGPT app. So if you navigate to ChatGPT, they have a real-time voice version here, which is pretty good. And you can connect it. It connects to your integrations and plugins and stuff, which is awesome. But what I'm talking about is in the remote section, the real-time voice. This version of real-time voice can actually spin up Codex sections. Isn't that sessions? Isn't that right, Codex?
I'm ChatGPT, and yeah, I can help with that kind of work. Talking to IT.
So you could spin, like if I asked you to spin up a Codex chat right now that builds a landing page which compares Grokbot, ChatGPT, and Claude, you could do that right now. Can you please do that?
Sure, let me put that together.
And what's really cool is it will just spin up a new chat. If we were to navigate to ChatGPT, you can see that this latest voice conversation is showing up here. Everything that we said would show up right here. And you can see here, it just created a brand new Codex session right here. And it says build a polished and responsive one-page landing page that compares Grokbot, ChatGPT, and Claude. So that's really cool. You can use real-time voice to spin up Codex sessions. And so for that reason, I believe that Codex probably gets the point here. And so this is kind of the landscape. Grokbot is winning because it makes agents very easy to understand and easy to use and easy to get started, whether it's on desktop or iOS. ChatGPT and Claude are neck and neck in models, but it's the worst advantage for Grokbot. And then the iOS app, I believe, is just the strongest, and the browser's the strongest with ChatGPT. Whenever I create a Notion doc, Google Docs, everything, I just have it open up directly in the Codex browser, and I'm signed in to everything on the Codex browser. But the main reason I still use Claude is that it just creates better knowledge work documents, period. All of the types of documents that it creates are better. Even Opus and Fable, especially Fable, does an incredible job at creating like really high quality PDFs. So for those reasons, I use Claude. And so that's kind of my take on the landscape of these different super apps. So speaking of Anthropic and Claude, let's move to our next agent update, which are a series of updates from Anthropic. So the first update from Anthropic is that directly inside Claude Code, specifically using it in the desktop app, meaning within the desktop app on Claude. So if I'm running Claude here and I'm using the Claude Code app, I can use /design. And this will invoke design mode, which is a separate mode, right? If you go home and you click on design mode, this is a whole separate product for Claude, and it's really popular. It has a huge audience in and of itself, and it is really good. They're adding some of these features from Claude Design directly into Claude Code, which I think is really cool. But here's a video. So you can type in /design, and it says redesign the composer based on what functions people use most. And because it's connected to Claude Code, you can get it to use Claude Code, and then it just uses Claude Design basically as a skill. And so Claude will actually draft it here on the side. And so this isn't actually adding your app or changing the code in your app. It'll look at your app, create a little draft, and then you can choose which one you want to implement in your actual app, which is really cool.
Oh, he was playing. I was wondering where that sound was coming from for a second. Okay, cool video, Riley. Hey, if you guys aren't already following Riley, go give him a follow. Yeah, listen. Today was a fun one. I know we kind of steered away from our normal ideation. We're just kind of experimenting with different things, right? Started working on a desktop app, then soon realized I want to kind of go back to the drawing board. So I think I'm going to turn that into a long form series, if I'm being honest with you. I think that would be fun. But I need to decide on what I want to do with Clearmud OS. If I just keep it browser focused, or if I just simply want to create a desktop friendly version of this that connects to my OpenClaw server, as long as I'm within the same network or via Tailscale access to this network, or VPN for that matter, right? Still have to decide. Stay tuned, Buzz Bootcamp. Listen, I don't like chasing shiny new toys. I like testing them, but I don't like telling you to just forget about everything and use Grokbot. I think Grokbot is here to stay. But as Riley just said, you know, the model keeps it, definitely limits its usage. However, I'm shocked he hasn't mentioned this, but, you know, using Grokbot, let me pull it up here. We have specific agents here for Codex and Claude, and they invoke Codex and Claude in the CLI. So anytime I want work done from either model, I simply say, hey, tag Codex to get the work done with ChatGPT's 5.6 Soul, and then it will report back with receipts with whatever it needs to be done, right? So it's a fun little workaround to use other harnesses within Grokbot. Now, keep in mind, the bot itself is still powered by 4.6, right? However, it's got specific instructions to use either Codex in the CLI or Claude in the CLI. I did have to authenticate within the system as a whole, but yeah. Yeah, I might at some point, right? Clearmud OS and Muddy OS are technically two separate shells. They're on the same server, but they're two separate web servers. I haven't decided yet. That's something I need to decide on is, do I want to combine Clearmud OS and Muddy OS into just one and have an admin section and then a content section? This would be the admin section, or toggle rather, and then this would be the content toggle. So I'd have probably a little toggle top right that then toggles the entire interface, right? Admin, Muddy OS, or content, Clearmud OS. That's what I would probably end up doing, that I'm kind of leaning towards. But I would first need to vibe that before I even think about the desktop version of it. You know what I mean? But of course, I'm never going to have it with a public facing domain. I don't see the need for that because I'm going to be the only one who ever logs in, at least for the foreseeable future. You know what I mean? That's what I did. Just separated it with logins. Nice. I like it. Yeah, I've thought about it, but it's just, I'd rather just have a secure tunnel into my network and access it that way. I don't need the ability to access it from a random computer, right? I think having a public facing URL makes sense from a number of different devices, a number of different networks, but I just have no need for that at the moment. So yeah, maybe as the company grows, maybe that'll change, but I'm sure it'll definitely change. But I'll cross that bridge when I get there, you know. Yeah, that's true. This as well. I'm using the CLI quite a bit for initial prototyping. I just have more control, right? I don't have to wait for responses. I don't have to wait for these complex workflows or rules of operation to follow this pipeline. I'd rather just edit something real time, do a hot reload, adjust, right? And then, of course, when something's in production, it makes more sense to go through a proper pipeline. But for prototyping, CLI is still my move, you know? Interesting. Very interesting. Do you find yourself using Herder or Orca more? As much as I'd love the CLI, I've been using much less of it. I've always have terminals. Okay. Nice. Hey, I love to see it. Everyone's going in a different direction. You know what I mean? I still like, I feel like I still use all of the above, but more recently it's been CLIs more than anything because most of my agents are on autopilot at the moment, right? And then of course, Grokbot. I've been testing Grokbot for the sake of testing it. And I've had a lot of fun. It's been a great experience. Don't get me wrong, but I'm excited for Grok 4.7. I might continue. I might just let Grokbot operate with all of the kind of routines I have in place, which is a lot, right? I'm doing this database factory kind of team concept, and that's automated. MoneyPod team, that's automated. Experiment team. So these are just certain little fun projects I'm running, and then of course X and Clearmud. But I'm still experimenting, and it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, listen, I'd love to keep it going, but I do have to switch gears here in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to take a quick little break, go break my fast. And yeah, hope everybody has a great start to the week. Go kick ass this week. I just want to say thank you, Terrell. Thank you, Sharma. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Thank you, Alls. Thank you, Dan DG. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Kaval. Thank you, Maestro. Thank you, Pokemon. And I think I got everybody. I can't keep scrolling. But just want to thank everybody for hanging out with me on their Monday. As I said, I'll say it again. Go kick some ass this week. We'll be back at it same time on Wednesday. Until then, Happy building. Cheers. Oh, I didn't hit end. All right, thanks again.